Morning everyone, buenos dias here from sunny Spain once again. Still no sign of Alexander Isak, but we do have confirmation from Eddie Howe of him going AWOL and heading off to Spain without permission. So there we have it. For the doubters and the disbelievers out there, it's now been confirmed from Eddie himself. What an absolute disgrace he is, and I can't believe Eddie then goes on in his press comments that he did today ahead of the game against Tottenham in Korea tomorrow, saying that, he still backs Alexander Isak and he hopes to see him back in a black and white shirt. I mean, doing that after the player went AWOL and has refused to play at Celtic, travel to Asia, then he refused to train at his own bloody training ground and he just takes off on holiday, is quite mad, to be honest with you. But I mean, listen, he's the manager. He's probably going to go in that direction of supporting the player and backing him and keeping him here, keeping him tight, keeping him calm until he moves. Or does he move? Obviously, last night was the news that there was going to be no second bid from Liverpool for Isak, which I struggle to believe, especially now with the Sesko movements, which we'll get into in a minute. There is loads to get into in this video already, as per usual on my holiday. But I like to get up nice and early, get it done, and then get a bit of a sunburn on the go. But where do we begin with this one then? Let's start with the Eddie Howe on Isak stuff and confirming that he found out through the media. That Eddie found out through the media that Alex went to Spain. I haven't got time to edit these videos anymore, so we'll leave in the little mistakes, doesn't matter. We'll keep it going. So yes, Howe found out through the media that Isak went to Spain, that he was in Sociedad through the media. Now that in itself is an absolute disgrace. So he goes on to kind of say, it's complex, it's difficult for me to go into more details on this situation. So he wouldn't, and that was about the gist of it. Basically saying, I didn't have a clue that Isak was going to Spain, to be honest with you. Nobody did. He just decided to take off on a plane, on holiday himself, with his team to train at Sociedad, even though he's apparently injured, wasn't he? So, yeah, absolute nonsense. Absolute bollocks on that one, to be honest with you. Too squinty still, even the sun behind us is too squinty. So, yeah, that's shocking for me. It's good to find he has some truth on it. And like I said, he's still backing Isak. He's still saying, want to see him in black and white. He said that the bid yesterday came and was rejected when he found out about the bid as well. So Eddie didn't know that the bid went in until, again, through the media and stuff, and that had been rejected. So there's that as well. But he says he's totally removed from the situation, and he kind of will be. I mean, he is bloody halfway around the other side of the world in a bit of a time difference there. So yes, he won't be exactly involved, and they know what the situation is with Isak. Give 150 million, he can leave. If not, then he's staying. Simple. You know what I mean? I think I mentioned yesterday, I do think it will be around the 130, 140 mark. And I still think Isak will leave. I'll get into that in a minute. But when I say, I'm disappointed in Eddie, disappointed is probably a harsh word, but, for him to just come out and then continue to support Isak, I get it because he's one of our players, but I don't get it because of what he's done and he's behaved. Because Isak certainly hasn't behaved like he's one of our players, because he doesn't want to be anymore. He wants out. So I don't agree with that. I kind of like Brendan Rodgers' stance. I remember when Luis Suarez was pushing for a move to Arsenal. Arsenal put that ridiculous 40 million and £1 or £1 offer in for Suarez just so it was over his release clause. And Liverpool rejected it. They called out Arsenal for it as well, and they called out Suarez. Rodgers was calling Suarez a disgrace, and he said Arsenal were disrespectful and all the rest of it, whereas Eddie, it's Eddie, it's his character and stuff, isn't it? But he's did the opposite. He's kind of backed Isak, and then he's went on to you see, I'm not going to talk about other clubs because he was asked about Liverpool's conduct during this transfer, because last night it was reports that Newcastle were baffled, bemused and annoyed at Liverpool offering such a low ball offer of that 110 plus add-ons. So Eddie didn't come out and slay or slander Liverpool at all. He does obviously have very good relationships with their sporting director and people at the club, but I like Rodgers' stance. I like Rodgers calling people out. I like when they're just a bit more at it, saying how it is. You know what I mean? I'll see it how it is. I think that's why people like the channel. But, I wish other people would do that as well. But yeah, it's different people's personalities. That's the way Eddie is. Fair play to him. I guess it's more mature. It's obviously more sensible. And yeah, that's the route he's going down. But the main thing to take away from that is Eddie Howe confirming Isak has gone AWOL. He didn't go to Spain with permission. We didn't grant it. So mixed reports there, because obviously a lot of you were saying, Keith from Sky said that they knew about it. Well, Eddie Howe came out today and said they didn't know about it. So there's that one. I think people were getting things mixed up from what Keith was saying on Sky, and I thought that was him saying that they knew where he was then, because obviously they knew where he was. We knew where he was. So they knew he was in Spain because everyone knew he was in Spain. I don't think Keith directly, he might have done, I don't know, but from what I've seen, I think he came out and said they knew of his whereabouts, not that they allowed him to go to his whereabouts. They knew of his location, but they didn't allow him to go to the location, basically. They didn't really ever grant him that permission, and Howe has confirmed that this morning. So there's that. There's other bits and pieces from his press conference, like Joe Willock being out for 4 to 6 weeks, which is absolutely standard. It's better news than what the first day had. When he went off the other day against the K-League All-Stars, he got stretched it off, and we thought, well, that's him out for a good 6 months at least, Achilles injury or whatever. But no, he's out for 4 to 6 weeks, which, as we know with Joe Willock, that means about 3 to 4 months anyways, because, and then again, listen, I think we should have let Willock go before Longstaff. I said it earlier in the window. You let Willock go. There was meant to be interest from Fulham, from Crystal Palace. You let him go for 15 to 20 million. And then you let Longstaff go if you get a replacement in. Now we've got 4 midfielders. We're knackered for midfield, And the worrying thing coming out the other day was that Newcastle don't say it's a priority position. I think that just means because they're trying to get strikers in first, then they'll get a midfielder. We have to surely get a midfielder. We'll let Anderson go. We'll let Longstaff go. And now we've got Willock injured. Well, he's always injured. So it doesn't make a bloody difference. And you've got Joe White, who's going out on loan, already has gone out on loan. And then you've got, obviously, an amazing midfield 3 when fit. But the backup of that is Louis Miley, and that is it. Miley, who struggled to get a bit of form and fitness on the go himself in recent times. So that is a huge worry. But one worry at a time, please. At least we've got loads of goalkeepers, yeah? But one worry at a time. Then obviously leads us on to the striker search. And there was loads of reports coming out late last night from Slovenia, obviously the country of Benjamin Sesko, saying that he has now decided to go to Newcastle United over Manchester United. A bit of the national press have picked up on this in this country now, confirming that it does look like Newcastle are closing in on a package that has been presented to Sesko. So he has now had a bit of common sense about him, seen the light, seen the sun, and thought, you know what it is, it's not 2003 anymore. Man, you don't have Van Nistelrooy playing alongside us. They haven't got Roy Keane in the middle of the park. Ryan Giggs isn't going to be crossing the ball to us. So I'm going to go to Newcastle United. I want Gordon. I want Tonali. Yeah? He loves Dan Bain. So he's chosen Newcastle, which is great news, if true. I want to be a bit hesitant on that one. I mean, like I say, it's good to see English press and UK media now picking up on this and confirming that it's looking that way. There's nothing being concrete yet, apart from the Slovenian ones. But then again, these Slovenian ones, they've got to be more in the know than the English ones, because they're out there, on the inside of it, and they'll have great contacts at these clubs and with, Sesko's agents and representatives, where obviously he represents the country. So Benjamin Sesko looks like he's did a bit of a U-turn, because earlier in the week it was suggesting that he was going to pick Manchester United over Newcastle United, but now Newcastle are still pushing hard to sign him. They are looking at around a 90 million euro deal for the RB Leipzig striker. Get in, man. Now this is what I want to see. Bring me Sesko. Get rid of Isak. That's what I want. I don't want Isak here anymore. Not after this. Nah. Not after Eddie Howe's confirmed it. Again, he's disgraceful behaviour. I'm not having it. I don't want him in the club anymore. He doesn't want to be here, so why do I want him? Fuck him. I want Sesko. Bring me Sesko. Everyone's saying that his similarities are like Haaland, the pay, well, a little bit, not much pace, but, the power, the aerial ability, the striking ability, the goal-scoring ability, most importantly, that's what he does. He puts the ball in the back of the net. He's got a very good record over there in the Bundesliga and in Austria before that, where he won the league and the Super Cup. In Germany, he's done that as well, so he's got a couple of major honours behind him. Major, bit of a stretch. He's got cups in his locker, and he's a very good, promising striker, and Eddie Howe will get the best out of him. He will improve him like he did with Isak. It's another Project Isak, this one, Project Sesko, but it's not as big of a project, because his numbers, his data, his stats are better than what Isak's were when he arrived at Newcastle. So I am buzzing with this move. It will be a club record fee, if that's rumoured to be correct, the 90 million package. And Sesko will become one of our, if not our highest earners, offering him around 200 grand a week. So there we go. Big move that for Newcastle. It will be a huge, huge win for us, this, finally, over the summer of rejection FC. And everyone was loving this again the other day, saying, oh man, you beat you to Sesko, they beat you in Boomo, beat you to Cunha, Chelsea beat you, and everyone know your place, you know what I mean? This would be a signal of intent. This would be a sign of ambition from Newcastle. A massive, massive one if we get Sesko over the line. And then, does that mean Isak leaves? I see people getting excited online, saying, oh, we're really going to end this window with Sesko, Wissa and Isak. I think we'll end it with Wissa. Sesko, I really hope so. Really do. And then I would allow Isak to leave. And I think, like I said on this Bloody Beach last night, I can't believe if Liverpool don't come in with a second offer. I really struggle to believe that. I think they will. I think next week it'll happen again. once Newcastle get the Sesko in, that kind of replacement, then I think they'll allow Isak to leave, and they won't turn down a big money offer around 130, 140. That's what I believe. I was going to say I hope I'm wrong, because I would love to see Isak stay. I would hate to see him go to Liverpool and play in that shirt and score goals in the Premier League, score goals against us. But at the end of the day, I don't feel the same way about Alexander anymore. I really don't. Honestly, I don't. I mean, if he stays, obviously, he'll be in black and white and he'll score goals, so I'll cheer, but I won't be cheering as hard, and I won't be making it personal, that's for sure. I'll be cheering the team scoring, not him scoring. But I just still struggle to find a way to believe that he stays. I really do. I just can't see it. And I just can't see Liverpool coming in with one offer and walking away. People saying they bottled the deal and all that. They must have had talks, and they must know what would be accepted, what could be accepted, what would be a fair fee and all the rest of it. So, and Isak going to these lengths, is he really going to jet off to Spain and everything on a mad one? Is his head been turned that much? He's lost the plot, and now he must be feeling daft as out. I don't know. Let us know what you think. Will Isak still go? Will the Sesko deal happen? What do you make of Howe confirming it all? And yeah, I'll probably see you again soon in a few hours on this beach or on the balcony or somewhere, as the news just keeps on coming thick and fast. So make sure you are subscribed to the channel, hit the notification bell, give us a like, and I'll see you on the next one.